Hello and welcome to São Paulo to the Tech Capital's first LATAM Finance Forum. I'm now joined by David Penna, partner at Davis Polk. And David, welcome to São Paulo.
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure this is a little bit colder
a little
than
bit
where
cooler,
you came from.
That's right.
You came from New
Washington,
York.
D.C.
Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
All right. Before we jump into the conference actually, so what brings someone from Washington to São Paulo to an event like this?
Yeah, so two major things. First of all, the Tech Capital just did a phenomenal job pulling together a really great event. It's the highest concentration of senior leadership from private equity funds, infrastructure funds, data center developers I've ever seen all in one place. So you guys just put together a really amazing event.
Oh, you should come to London because this is amazing.
And second, look, I think Brazil is a real growth area for the industry. I think the easy access to power, I think the level of sophistication of the client base here, I think there are lots of reasons to think that this country, all of LATAM, but Brazil in particular, are sort of on the precipice of really exploding in the data center space. We had, on my panel alone, we had CEOs and CFOs from major developers, from international infrastructure funds and those things, and everyone seems incredibly enthusiastic about Brazil.
Okay, when you're looking to, I don't know, should we focus on Brazil or do you want to focus on LATAM as a whole?
We can touch on either.
Right.
Yeah.
So when looking to the region, let's call it just the region. When we look into the region, who is actually financing all the development that we're seeing? I mean, we keep hearing about gigawatt campuses coming up, all these AI cities in different parts of Brazil. There's a lot of hundreds of megawatts being developed and invested right now. Who's paying the bill?
So it's an excellent question, and I think we're really at a turning point for these markets. So thus far the development has been robust, but much on the smaller scale. I think to take the next step, when you start talking about 100 megawatt, 200 megawatt, gigawatt style campuses, there's going to have to be a significant influx of capital into this space. I think all of the conditions are here for explosive growth, but I think we need to get foreign capital into the space, probably US dollar denominated project finance debt, and maybe some of the financing structures that we've been using in the United States around the data centers. The construction financing, yes, but also considering takeout options, whether it's an ABS, whether it's a private placement, looking at development company or holdco facilities to finance the development. So I think all the conditions are here, but I really think bringing in some of that foreign capital and some of those more sophisticated financing structures is really going to unlock the market.
But picking up on American money, things have changed a lot in America in the last 7 months. Do you see any curveball there at some point that might actually impact emerging markets like this in terms of accessing capital, accessing businesses in the US?
It's a great question. No, I actually think people will look at Brazil and Latin America generally and think that they're really good environments for investing right now. There is not a lot of macroeconomic risk. There seems to be a lot of sort of geopolitical stability in the region. I think Brazil has an opportunity not only to expand its homegrown data center sector, but really to take on some of the global infrastructure from around the world. Again, power is relatively inexpensive here. It's a very business-friendly environment. There are reasonable AI regulations in place. So I think there are a lot of advantages that Brazil is going to have, not just for its national data center infrastructure, but really for the global data center infrastructure.
And actually the lack of legacy of both infrastructure and even policy, regulation and all sorts of stuff is really going to help drive the market faster.
I think that's right. I think
mature markets.
I think that's right. I think there are a lot of tailwinds to the industry here.
Yeah, because I keep saying when you look at Europe, you just get stalled by a lot of legacy discussions.
There are other environments, and power is a constant issue in the United States. Like a lot of the other markets face these kind of challenges, none of which seem to be here. Really, again, it's really going to be just bringing in that additional capital that you're going to need to sort of expand from a smaller industry to this, hundreds of millions of dollars and billions of dollars industry.
How do you see the capital pool changing then? Because private equity has become very dominant in the global data center space. And when you say global, that phase we're probably talking more about North America, Europe, a little bit of Asia, touching Asia a little bit. But how do you see private equity coming into these markets, the funds, all these sort of things? I mean, Asia is run a lot by family offices. Is that going to happen here? Is that happening here?
I don't think so. I think that the space has gotten incredibly competitive in the United States, and so I think the private equity investors and a lot of the sophisticated ones with a lot of international investment experience will see that this is a relatively stable environment that is somewhat newer, and so probably offers higher returns. So I think you'll quickly see U.S. and European style private equity funds investing in the space. The other advantage they have is there's an abundance of renewable energy here, and so if you're a European investor whose limited partners may have green investment requirements and those kinds of things, it's going to be relatively easy to find a home for those dollars here, just because the projects naturally are going to be using renewable power.
You mentioned renewable power. One thing that's been quite interesting here from a green perspective is green financing. People bring up green bonds, sustainable linked finance, or linked loans. They bring those things up a lot more than any other market I've been to. I mean, I don't know if why is that is the right question here.
It's a great question.
How does that fit into the bigger picture? Because I know there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of renewable energy in this country, but they seem to be taking that into an extreme, in a positive way.
I think so too, and it's not just the energy, it's the carbon footprint of the data centers here is much lighter, much smaller. It's also an easy nut to crack here, just because there is so much renewable energy that it's not as hard as in the United States when you might have a significant upgrade queue that you got to get a study, and there might be significant costs, and it might be hard to get renewable electrons onto the grid. Here, they're already here. So it's very easy to do sort of green sustainability type investment here because the power infrastructure is already there. There maybe needs to be some additional transmission in certain regions, but the power generation is already all there to support sustainable investment.
When you're looking at the market, what other things are you seeing that we should be talking about? So another way, what have I not asked you that I should have asked you?
No, you've asked great questions. Look, I think the real development we need is just bringing more of the international debt and equity capital here, the dollars themselves, but also just some of the structural innovations that we've had in the United States as this industry has developed again. So, DevCo, HoldCo type facilities, and the refinancing structures. There tends to be a big glut of construction financing that's 3 to 5 years in tenor, and that all needs to find a home once the projects are up and running. And so we have a lot of solutions now in the U.S., whether it's ABS, private placement, whether it's a fund buying assets, those sorts of things. So I think those innovations need to come to this market. But I think all of the ingredients for a really strong market are here already. We just need that international investment.
That I would agree. How long do you think that's going to take? Are we talking about 1 year, 2 years, 3 years?
I'd be surprised if it hasn't happened in the next 3 years. I think
we're going to change administrations.
I think we are right on the precipice of the developers here and the investors leaping to sort of the next phase of development, where it's much bigger projects that's going to demand that kind of capital. So I think those projects and the fundamentals of those projects with good leases, good power prices, land access, I think that will actually pull the capital in.
This might be a bit of a sideline question, sorry to throw that at you, but I don't know how much you follow Brazilian politics. There's elections next year for a new president. There'll be a whole new government in Brasilia. If you follow Brazilian politics, do you think what you're seeing now could affect the market?
Look, my view is that whoever is going to be in charge is going to want additional economic investment, foreign direct investment, exactly. And there's so many economic benefits associated with developing, again, not just a local, but a global data center basis here, that I think whoever is in power is going to support it.
All right, fair enough. Very, very safe. Clean answer. Speaking of Davis Polk then, what are you guys going to be busy with over the next 12 months? What's going to be the focus? Could be region, could be type of clients, type of development. What's going to keep you busy?
Yeah, that's a great question. So Davis Polk is a global law firm, but has a really big Brazilian presence, especially in the finance capital market space. So I think we'll continue to do a lot of data center development in the U.S. In the U.S., that's often paired with power development, just because power is such a huge part of the scenario. So, roughly 75 or 80% of my work for the last 2 years has been in the data center space, whether it's the actual hyperscale data centers themselves, associated financing facilities, or power. I think we'll continue to see that focus, and I think the firm will continue to focus in the data center digital infrastructure space with a heavy emphasis on the Brazilian product, just because we have such a strong presence here.
All right, last question. When you come back here, well, if you come back, I'm sure you'll come back next year.
Yeah.
When you come back next year into São Paulo for this event, for the 2026 edition, what's the one thing you would like to have seen happen in the past 12 months?
I just opening the market to foreign investment and getting some of the new structures here. I think it was a great conference today. A lot of really energetic exchange of ideas and people understanding. It's fascinating too, because you get industry leaders from companies that you think would be competitors in the space, but it's a really collaborative atmosphere and people exchanging ideas. I think this kind of event is going to really accelerate that sort of development investment. So I think we'll be much farther along the curve if we get to do this again next year. I think if we look back, we're going to be much farther along the development investment curve than we are right now.
It's all in on Brazil.
Exactly.
David Penna, partner Davis Polk, thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you.
As for your home, thank you for watching, and do check our website and social media for the latest digital infrastructure news from across the globe. At the Tech Capital, you lead, we report. Bye for now.